It's springtime, and springtime is sprout time. Welcome to Elegantly Raw. Hi, and welcome. I'm your host, Dorit. Today, we are talking sprouts. Yes, these heavenly sprouts. These are broccoli sprouts that you see here. And we have, of course, these snap peas on the side because I just found some this morning for the farmers brought in. And when you can get snap peas directly from a farmer, gobble it up. So, welcome to Elegantly Raw. And I am particularly excited today because I have today the queen of Toronto Sprouts, Marie Larsson, and she will be our special guest today. But before we bring her on, let's look and see what we have in store for you today, shall we? So on the table is a table of bounty. So not only do we have the broccoli sprouts and of course these delightful, delectable, gorgeous snap peas, but you will see here as well that I have this device. So this is what I use to sprout in. This is my sprouting kit. Now, what is this exactly and why do I prefer this one? Well, it's interesting because do you see right here, it has a place for me to hook this on. This is the jar itself, and you can see it has the mesh right here for the draining. And then it has this little hook here, which I can then hook this onto, and then it's at the exact angle for the drainage. And then it has this dish here for the draining. So I really love this to sprout. And in the winter, I sprout a lot of beans. So here we have, these are organic seeds. I make sure, please, I beg of you, only get organic seeds. If you can find biodynamic, even better, but do not get conventional seeds. So this one here is a whole mixture of seeds that are red lentil, green peas, French lentil, azuki beans, and mung beans. And this is what you're seeing right here. So these sprouts, what I do is every Sunday, and so this evening I'll be doing that, this is about a 3/4 of a cup into this jar. I put that into this jar. I then take water that is actually alkaline water, or I have ionized water as well. And we'll do a whole show on water once. And then I put that in here and I soak it overnight. And then I soak it overnight standing still like this. And then the next morning I rinse it thoroughly. And I'm rinsing a lot. I rinse a lot. So I don't just take these beans and then throw them in. I rinse them beforehand. And that is key. I've had quite a few people on social media say to me, I love sprouts, but when I eat sprouted beans, then I end up having problems I have tummy ache. You don't have to. So these are the sprouted beans. Now I want to show you, this is after it's been sprouted. I'd like to show you the difference between these beans that have not been sprouted yet and the sprouted ones. So let me take 2 spoons, and then you will see the difference in the beans. So I know you can hear them. Can you see this one is the sprouted one? You see the little tail? This one is unsprouted. So a lot of people in the vegan community are eating a lot of beans and they're not sprouted. Because of the lectins, you really need to sprout them. And not just because of the lectins, but particularly because of that, you need to sprout them. I cannot tell you how important it is for you to sprout your beans. And you'll find a big difference once you begin to sprout these beans. Huge difference when you begin to sprout them. And, I sprout everything. These are pumpkin seeds that have been sprouted as well. You can also purchase sprouts For example, you can purchase these. These are the spicy ones. These are clover sprouts and also radish sprouts. So sometimes you can get daikon as well. But when you purchase them, please make sure that you wash them thoroughly. That's why people are getting all these stomachaches. They're not washing them. Then we have these bean sprouts as well, which I really love and which is used a lot in Asian cuisine. Just like this, they eat them raw. Even though everything else on the plate might be cooked except for some green leaves and some basil leaves, they'll eat them in Vietnam, in Thailand, I believe in Cambodia. I'm not sure about Cambodia, but a lot of Asian countries, this will be eaten raw as well. So what I'd really suggest is that what I do, some people have been asking me, how do you eat them? You know, what do you do to eat them? Well, I get all these beautiful lettuces, and then I put them in the lettuce. And I'm going to show you how we do that today. The earth has so much bounty that is stunning and beautiful and so high in energy, and the vibrations are so high that we don't have to wander. So here we go. I have a plate already. So I've got some lettuce here. Just do not use iceberg lettuce. Please, 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 please do not use iceberg. And so I've got a plate already here. And I'm going to show you now how I do this and why I do this and what you can, all the different things you can put on here. So you've got tomatoes around here. You can either put the tomatoes in the middle here, or these are broccoli sprouts. I can just put the broccoli sprouts on this one here. Right here. You don't have to put too much. Don't put too many at once if you're new to sprouting. And then if I want to, I can also take some of the sprouted lentils and the peas, the sprouted lentils and peas, and put some here as well. I absolutely love these. And then what I'm also going to do, I'm going to put some fermented foods on this. So you will see here, I've got, it's a herbal kraut because it is winter. In winter, I use a lot of fermented foods. So this is carrots, mainly, burdock root, horseradish, garlic, kale, nettle leaf, ginger, oregano, and cayenne pepper, of course, because it's winter and I love my cayenne pepper. So I'm going to actually move this away, and I'm going to put some of this on here. So I'm just moving things so that you can see what I do. I'm going to move my sprouting kit and jar out of the way as well, so you can see some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing now, how to serve it, because this is a question I get asked a lot on social media. So I'm going to put some of the kraut on here as well. You don't have to, or I can put the kraut in this one. In fact, because this one already has the beans and the broccoli sprouts, I'm going to put some chopped up olives, which I already have here, with some pepper. I happen to like spiciness, so I'm going to put this on here, and this gives it the most amazing flavor. Now, if you're eating this as a sandwich and you want to have bread, make sure it's sprouted bread as well. The more sprouted anything you can get into your body, the more healing it will be for you. So this here now is a raw sandwich, but if you're not raw and you want to put this on bread, just make sure it is sprouted bread. But there you go. So this is very simple and easy and quick to have and to eat. All I do is I make sure the lettuce is washed beforehand, and everything else is washed and prepared beforehand. Now, there's another lettuce here. I'm going to, with this one, I'm also going to put this time some of these sprouts on there. So these are the mung bean sprouts, although I also have the seeds as well. I'm going to put this here, and this is very similar now in Asia how it would be eaten. It's usually eaten with greens and raw greens. And now I'm going to, I had cut up beforehand some red bell peppers, and only for color, red bell peppers, not green, because you really need to be eating fruits ripe. And the orange are just about to ripen, but just because I love color, I put orange and red here as well. So this is a different kind of raw sandwich that I make with the sprouts. Now I could also, of course, go right ahead and put some of the broccoli sprouts there, or some of the, and I will do that. I'll put some broccoli sprouts as well on it. Or I could also put some of the clover sprouts. Now, some of the tomatoes I chopped up ahead of time, and I'm putting the tomatoes on the first one because this has so much color in it. I'm putting it on the first sandwich. And also because of the juice of the tomatoes, I can have that as well, make it really scrumptious. Now, I'm also going to put, if I'm really hungry that day or that morning, and mornings is when I really eat a big meal because I am always hungry in the morning. So I'm going to put an avocado. I'm going to slice an avocado. But before I put it on, this avocado here, before I put it on, I want to show you what both sandwiches look like first. So here we go. This is the first one, and this is the second one. I hope you can see that clearly. So these are your sprouted sandwiches. And if, like I said, if you're not raw or not completely raw, you're transitioning, you can just use some sprouted bread for that as well. So this one has the kraut, and this one now will get the avocado. So I'm going to cut this avocado. You can either chop it up in small cubes, or you can just make slices out of it. It's really up to you and what you have time for and what you wish to eat and how to eat it that day. I'm just going to slice it just because I really would like to get to our guest Marie quickly. So I don't want to spend too much time doing this. And this, the avocado will also go here. And I have one more piece of this avocado, which I'll put here. And then I'm going to wipe my hands first. Now, this is my raw sandwich. There you go. So 2 sandwiches I have. 2 different raw sandwiches that we have to enjoy all the bounty and beauty of nature. Now, I also have here some seaweed. So I made a seaweed salad as well with kale and cabbage and wakame. I did wakame because I prefer wakame seaweed. And this time I'm going to put now some of this broccoli sprouts on here. And this goes really beautifully with it. And I'm also going to put some of this mung bean sprouts around it. And then in the center of it, I'm going to put some of these bean sprouts. People keep asking me online on social media, what do you use those sprouted bean sprouts for? For everything and everything. So see, now I have a bit of everything in this seaweed salad, and I have a little sesame and kale. And I will do a seaweed recipe. I'm going to be doing a show on seaweed, so you'll get this recipe. By the way, the dressing for this is stunning. And I have orange in the dressing here. So this makes an absolutely delectable, delightful dressing as well. So there we have it for today. So I am so happy that it's and that I'm bringing on Marie from Toronto Sprouts, former Toronto Sprouts in Canada. Let me explain why. Marie was the Queen of Sprouts in Toronto, and anyone who was really expected, anyone who was a leader in the raw food movement wanted to go to Toronto Sprouts because she would put on these workshops, which were stunning. And she is the one who allowed me to put on the workshop called The Sacred Art of Eating, which looked at all the aspects of a human being and not just at food, and showed all the connections on the dots about why it is that going raw is not enough. And I was so thrilled that she did that. Welcome, Marie. I'm so glad to have you here.
Wow. Thank you for having me. And that's quite a lunch that you showed us how to do. Lunchtime here in Toronto. So thank you for having me.
Breakfast for me here.
There you go.
Yeah, in the winter. I eat salads for breakfast in the winter. In Israel, we have salad for breakfast, and that is something that has stayed with me. Marie, I am so thrilled. Please just let us know how you got into sprouts and why.
Um, that was just an opportunity that I didn't see coming, so to say. I was approached by a neighbor of mine that was asking if I wanted to come and help out in a sprout farm. And that was located in an urban setting down on Spadina, which is the Chinese area here in Toronto. And I just landed in Canada and was didn't quite have my work path chiseled out for me. So anyway, I said, okay, I'll come and volunteer. And I did. And I remember walking in the basement of the location on Spadina and seeing the sprouts in the middle of the winter. And I just felt like, oh, this is going to change the path of my life forever. And it sure did. It was something very powerful to feel the energy of all the greens that was growing in an urban setting. So that was quite inspiring too. The lady that started what was then Super Sprouts, her name was Colleen Allison, and she was challenged with cancer. She was looking for alternative ways of dealing with her health challenge and came across the Hippocrates Health Institute, their philosophy that was inspired by Anne Wigmore, and that's how the sprouting came, to my understanding anyway, to North America and to be a thing. And Colleen started growing wheatgrass and sunflower, buckwheat, pea shoots, and so forth for her own health. And people around her got so inspired, they asked her to grow more. And without knowing, she had started a business, and I came in when the business of sprouting had taken over her life, and she asked if I wanted to work with her and come in as a partner, and I did, and eventually I was able to take over the sprouts and continue. My own journey is that I came from a more emotional health background. So when I came across sprouts and the importance of good nutrition in our lives for health and wellness, I definitely embraced it. And to my young family's dismay, I changed my diet within 2 weeks of working at Super Spreads. I changed my diet, and that was quite a radical change in everybody's life. So I learned a lesson there that when you embrace something, not to be too radical about it, but take nice and easy and small steps that will last. So that's how I started, and then eventually my personal interest came from not only the personal health but also the community health, and then global health, and then it has at later days really extended to global health and wellness and sustainability, circular economy, and so forth and so on. So but my sprouting days and building the sprouting community, that was very rewarding. And still after a decade not having been hands-on in sprouting, I see businesses that was sprouted from our efforts, and that gives me that's so gratifying to see that happen or is happening. And like what Dorit came up to Toronto Sprout twice, and we were so happy to have workshops at our location, because we not only did sprouts, we were called sort of a living foods resource center. So we sprouted at the back. We had a restaurant or a cafe where we provided delicious sandwiches like Dorit just showed you, and then we also had some key items that we felt promoted this lifestyle, the raw living lifestyle. We had juicers, we had supplements, we had books, we had other items there as well, and then we had space so that we could gather and have lectures and just gather, and the community grew. It was amazing to see. We had potlucks coming down to Toronto Sprouts, and we definitely felt that we were onto something. And what I realized maybe that we were maybe a decade too early for it really to take space, but you have to start somewhere, and it was fun, lot of work, but the importance of eating or choosing your food, what your fuel, your life fuel, is really important, and that was one of the messages that we definitely tried to promote at Toronto Sprouts. And Dorit, you were one of the promoters of that, so thank you for still being in the loop, and that we kept in contact all these years. So I really appreciate that.
Very welcome, Marie. And we have some comments. Paula Franklin has some questions. She asked, do you dehull?
Dehull.
The seed. It's a pain to do so. So Paula, I presume that you mean, I think she means, I'm not sure. I think you mean this, that you don't see any hulls or seeds here. I rinse this a lot. So one of the things that I want us, Marie and I, to talk about today is what to do with sprouts. So this has been rinsed thoroughly. And Paula, that's why you don't need to dehull or take the seeds out. Just rinse them thoroughly, and they just automatically, they're gone.
But it all depends on if you're growing sunflower sprouts. Though you do have a method of dehulling. So it takes a little bit of time to get into it. But the smaller seeds and the legumes, the beans and lentils and so forth, definitely you don't have to dehull. And what you're saying there, you're rinsing. And that serves two purposes. One is that you're waking up the seeds, and when the seeds are starting to be awake, they also give away energy, heat, and with that also the possibility of bacteria forming. So it's essential to rinse your the sprouts that you are sprouting in jars often, at least 4 or 5 times a day. So that's really good routine, Dorit. Glad to see that you're doing that.
Yeah. Paula is saying that's not so. If you keep rinsing, you lose a lot of sprouts. No, I don't. I rinse constantly, and I don't. But you see, I have a special, I don't have it with me here right now. Actually, it's because I used it this morning. It's in the sink right now. But I have these special sieves that I use. So no, I don't lose a lot of sprouts at all, Paula. Maybe what I should do one day, I won't be able to do it on the show because then, I have to go from the germination to that. But what I will do is, as I'm doing it one day when I'm rinsing, I will put it up on social media so you can watch Paula and see how I do it. Marie?
Yeah. You shouldn't lose the sprouts when you're rinsing. They are really fine, simple ways of keeping the volume of sprouts and rinsing them anyway. And you showed, that's a neat little gadget that you have, Dorit. I haven't seen that one before. I mean, I think being Swedish, I'm more basic. I go with the jars, at the mason jars and the lids, and buy the mesh from the hardware store and stuff like that. And that works fine. So we all have to find our own way. But the essence here is that we realize it must be food safety is of essence. And there are ways. I mean, that you can set up in your kitchen that it makes it really nice and easy and safe, and obviously so you don't lose all of your sprouts when you rinse them.
Yes, and she's saying that, yeah, Paula
Mhm.
Franklin is saying, yes, special sieves, you need them. Yeah, we have included that. I just said it, Paula. She said you should have included that. And I just spoke about that, yes, because we're not doing an actual demonstration here today. I don't have them with me on to show you, but yes, we just spoke about that. And she's saying also, Paula, that
Mhm.
she now takes Brock supplements because it was too much of a pain to dehull them. Do you know anything about the Brock supplements?
The broccoli supplements, am I
And
understanding that right?
she said Brock supplements, so I presume that's what she meant. Paula, could you let us know, please?
um, I mean, it's always a choice whether you want to go with the real stuff or and save some prep time, or if you want to uh, uh, grow your own sprouts. I mean, it's a matter of philosophy where you are in life. I cannot be, I can't give you an advice on that if you want to take a supplement, but supplement seemingly is one step away from being a natural ingredient or being a natural source of food, and it's harder on our systems to digest and for you to absorb the supplements. But I'm not a doctor. I just want to say that I come from mental health side of life. You have to just make one thing that I've learned in eating and in dealing with sprouts is that you have to find the right way yourself, based on information. So it's up to you if you want to take broccoli supplements. I'm sure they have some benefits as well. But you do not have to dehull the broccoli sprouts if you grow them right.
Okay, thank you. You had mentioned that you had not seen this device that I was using. That's because this is new. This is actually new on the market. This is
Oh, cool.
a new, yes, I really love it. And it
Mm.
makes it so much easier. And I haven't had the problems that Paula was talking about. I'm sorry, Paula, but maybe it's just you need a new kit. I'm not sure. Or but if these Brock supplements are working for you, then you found a solution. I'm glad to hear that.
Mm.
So, Marie, I'm just going to go into some questions as well. So, if one is actually sprouting, and one has finished, when does one know when the sprouting is ready? When the sprouts are ready, and one has just started sprouting and is new to it.
Ah, okay. That's also personal, a balance between a personal preference or not. Like, for instance, if you grow the broccoli sprouts, it is said that after 3.5 days, it's the optimum to eat the broccoli sprout because of the supposedly cancer-fighting components in the broccoli sprouts. So the answer to that would be between 3 and 4 days. But it's all the alfalfa sprouts, for instance. It all depends on your personal taste. Do you want long tails, short tails, or what's your preference? When I had Toronto sprouts, we used to grow them for 4.5 days. for volume. And then when we packaged them, they grew a little bit more as well. So, but it's up to you. But with the legumes, though, the longer tails that you allow them to have, the easier it is for your digestive system to deal with them. And if you start out with eating raw and eating the legumes, um, I remember my stomach got really upset first, and I couldn't really understand. It was because I had to build up my digestive system so that it could function digesting the raw, uncooked food that I ate. So, but listen to your body. That's one of the main things that I've learned. Listen to your body, what works. I mean, if you eat legumes and they make your stomach hurt, well, change up the approach. But eventually, I mean, it would be a shame if you had to omit something. But just take it easy. Ease into a raw foods diet and sprouts as well. But the benefit of eating living raw foods is excellence, and sprouts are just such a big part of it. So, or do you have anything to add to that, Dorit?
Yes, so I wanted to get back to a response from Paula Franklin regarding Brock. Neither of us knew what that was. And she's saying Brock is a brand in the United States now, originally Prostaphaning, I'm not sure the pronunciation, in France. And she said allegedly the best one as touted by Dr. Rhonda Patrick. So that she just gave us the answers to what Brock is. We didn't, but neither of us knew what that was.
And that is a supplement?
Apparently, I guess so.
Okay.
Paula. So we're already out of time. Time goes fast.
This was so much fun. Maybe I can come on, but can come back and show how you sprout the Swedish way.
Yes. So we will. We will definitely bring you back, and we'll go through the whole sprouting technique and how to start sprouting, when, what to do, when to do, and show how to do it, how to rinse, how to wash. And Paula will show you then what we do with the sieves and whatnot. And then we can just do a whole sprouting workshop.
Sounds like a plan. And I love that. I wish you could beam it up to me here in Toronto.
Yeah, eventually one day I think we will be able to do something like that. Now one can actually do photocopy in 3D. So, but one cannot photocopy anything from the earth. We really are very blessed to have the love and the abundance of the earth at our fingertips. So to all farmers everywhere, to everyone who grows these seeds and make sure that we keep these seeds sacred and in safekeeping, thank you all so much. And Marie, any last minute thing you would like to say today?
No, just stay healthy and make good choices. We need all the help we can get in these times. So and thank you for being so inspiring still, Dorit, and showing us the path to good nutrition. Really appreciate that.
Nutrition is the key of how we think, how we feel, and it mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I think that is so incredibly important. So on this, we could also have put anything that we wanted right here, and then just had it with the snap peas, and this would have made a perfect meal too. Any of the things that I used here, we could have put in there. So for example, right now, I'm just going to put these beautiful bell peppers in there. And I'm going to put some of the sprouted beans and peas, the lentils and peas in here as well. And to everyone, I say bon appetit, l'chaim. I really would like to thank Marie today for taking the time to really come and introduce sprouts to us. And we will do another session with her, which will be a sprouting session bit by bit. So Marie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
So until next time, everyone, stay focused, be bold, and know that you deserve the best that the earth and life has to offer. Until then.